Yo, what's up guys, I'm back on a review here. This time we have this Adama review. Now this will be one of my last videos without facecam. I'm very excited to say that. I will be putting it on very soon. I'll just show you my skill rating and that while I'm here. As you see, my little esports Man City badge, very cool. Unfortunately in Rivals I am at 18-5-1, which is not really the best considering, like, well, I don't really play, to be honest. Like, I only play for 7 wins a week on a Wednesday, so generally speaking, it could probably be around 2000, but I'm just too late. It probably will be by the end of the season. I'll show you it on them, but overall, I just can't bother playing Rivals as much. But saying that, I did play a few games of Rivals with Raul and Adama. I think in the games I played with Adama, he got 3 goals in Rivals. The rest were in Foot Champs qualifiers. I went 5-0. So it's a very, very good card. On stats then. So, he's 5'10", he's got high low work rates, he's right footed with 4-star skills, 2-star weak foot. He's got 98 pace, 75 shooting, 86 passing, 91 dribbling, and 89 physical. So on paper looks like quite a beast. On traits, he's only got the flair trait for manual traits, but he generally does look like a very good card. I played him in the games, I played him striker and also right mid in a 4-4-2. So we'll see how that pans out. If you enjoy or want to see more, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the positive and negatives. Peace. So on to positive negatives about the card then. Now, for me, the pace was very, very fast in game. He didn't really feel Vinicius level fast, but overall the pace was really, really electric, to be fair. Maybe because of reactions he didn't feel as fast as Vinicius, but overall the pace is really, really good, to be fair. That acceleration just allows you to burst through and go as fast as you can. Just get him through the middle, and he'll just fly. So the pace was my first positive. Next up for me is going to be the shot power. Now this is a really nice aspect, and I've seen on his foot freeze card. This is the foot fire one. The foot freeze one, he's got 98 shot power, something like that. So that card is going to be an absolute beast in game. But it's not got as much passing, which I will talk about in a minute. But the shot power on this card, really good to be fair. Now I'm going to talk about something that's probably going to be a little bit unexpected, right? So the 2-star weak foot, I genuinely didn't feel it as bad as it was. I thought it was more like 3-star or something like that. It genuinely, I scored quite a few goals in it, as you've probably seen by the clips. I didn't really have that many problems. I know a lot of my mates were trying him and they didn't really like him because of the 2-star weak foot. But I didn't feel it was that bad, you know. He had a few shots and he scored them, so I was like, okay, fair enough. But next up for me is going to be the general passing. Now this includes the vision, the short pass, the long pass. All three of these really good to be fair. This one I think is very, very well suited for a right mid or left mid. Well, probably not left mid because of the 2-star weak foot. But generally that right mid position, if you can play 4-4-2, to have that bombing winger flying up and down the pitch with that good stamina, with all these good passing aspects, and especially with that 96 crossing, that is a very, very nice aspect. If you like low cross it, or even just proper cross it into the box, let's say you have like a Ronaldo or something in there, that crossing is immense. But as I was talking about, all the passing stats really good to be fair. Doesn't really put many passes wrong, and as you can see by his assist, he's a very, very good passer. Now next for me is going to be the agility and the balance. Now this is so nice for me. The balance especially on this card, really nice to be fair. I hate it when a card has good balance but low strength because it really get counteracts. But that balance with that strength just allows it to be a very, very unit card. And even if you tried to push him off the ball, you couldn't, because that balance strength would just it kind of like form a bond together and just stop the card from being pushed over. It was so, so nice. The next up for me is going to be the ball control. Now the ball control for me, really good in game to be fair. Only took like one touch wrong, and that was because I drilled at him. But other than that, really nice to be fair. And especially since that wide, you don't really need that ball control as much, because you're trying to play like through balls to them and stuff like that to get them on the burners and stuff like that. So it's nice. The next up for me is the dribbling stat. Now the actual dribbling stat in game, really good to be fair. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the 5-star skills, which is very confusing about this promo because I don't know what they're trying to do. They've made it like a bit like, so like one upgrade and then the other upgrade on the other card. I don't know why they don't do like skills and weak foot as well, like they did on like Gabriel Jesus. It's a very confusing promo. I don't think even they know what they're doing. But generally speaking, the dribbling on this card, very, very good to be fair. Especially if you use those 4-star skills to like link in with it, really nice. Now next for me is the jumping. Now the jumping actually felt quite good in game to be fair. It's similar to Raul's, even though he's 5'10", sorry, 5'10". It was really good to be fair. Especially if you like playing wide and I say it goes in the air for some reason accidentally, something, or if they have a goal kick or something, and then obviously he should be there because he's on the wide man. Needs to be on like probably like someone like Mendy or Hernandez. He will probably win that ball in the air. The head accuracy might not go too well, but that jumping's decent. Last for me is going to be the stamina. Now the stamina for me, really good to be fair. He'll probably last you all game as long as you don't like proper drive him up and down a lot. But I don't think you will because the higher work rates. This is why it's a little bit of an issue at wide, because he will always stay up and you don't really want that. You want him to be coming up and down. But generally speaking, that stamina is perfectly good enough. But there's some positives, now on to negatives. So on to negatives about the card then. Now, first for me, I know I talked about on the positive side of things. The weak foot is a very inconsistent thing. Sometimes, right, so let's say you have an opportunity with him and it goes on his left foot and you have to take on his left and he scores it, you'll be very confident for the next shot that he'll go in, and then he'll have another left foot shot, 1v1 with the keeper, and he'll put it so far wide. So it's just the inconsistency, and you'll hear that a lot about this card with me. It's just his inconsistency that lets him down, to be honest. So that's 2-star weak foot, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Now, next for me is going to be the finishing. Now, again, this is very inconsistent. The shot power kind of, I'm not going to say counteracts it because obviously they're different aspects, but I felt like the shot power, even if it was like close to keeper because of bad finishing, the shot power kind of like take it in with a 99 shot power, and it was just the keeper wouldn't be able to save it because it's so powerful. But the finishing, very inconsistent at times. Now next for me is going to be the long shots and the volleys. Now both of these, you're not really going to use that much, especially if you're playing in the right mid position. You're going to be cutting onto his left as well, so that is like the worst thing you should do, use those long shots on his left. Like I think there's nothing you could do worse than that. But that and the volleys, I would probably advise you stay away from as far as possible because they're a little bit inconsistent, or very inconsistent to be honest. I could put the penalties and free kick actually in there, but obviously you just put someone else on it, so it doesn't really matter with that. But this for me is my main negative, the reactions for him. Now, you can definitely tell reactions with dribbling this year. Now, this is what really annoyed me about this card. This is why I said in my Raul review that he actually felt quite a bit more agile, this Adama card. Because although the Adama card's got a lot more pace and he feels electric to get through and goal, that agility sometimes would be a little bit frustrating because reactions, because he won't like turn and twist as fast. So that was kind of a bit of a letdown, I can't lie. But overall, he's still a very, very good card for these agility. Now, next with me is going to be the Composure. Now, this in the finishing and the 2-star weak for kind of just gets a bit frustrating. This is why I don't recommend you playing him like a higher, more dependent on scoring kind of role in the attack. Let's just say you're playing like wide instead of that, and then get those like double X's across the box because of his pace and his strength, and they can hold him off, and then get the pass across because he's got good passing stats. That is probably the best thing to do with him, and that's probably going to utilise all of his key aspects mostly. Next for me is going to be the head knack seat. Now, the head knack for me, as I talked about, he would have good jumping and then he would get the ball, but he would head it so far where I didn't aim it. Like, I hated it sometimes. Very annoying. But overall, the jumping is decent, but the head knack is quite awful. Now, the aggression for me was a little bit frustrating. Because of the high strength and balance, you would think the aggression might kind of get counteracted. But sometimes the strength actually got kind of counteracted by the aggression. Because it's a little bit low at times. So that was a little bit frustrating. Now, next up for me is going to be the lack of traits. Now, the lack of traits for me really does disappoint me. I kind of want him to have outside the foot shot trait, especially with that 2-star weak foot. You really want them to hit on the outside their strong foot so they don't have to use that weak foot as much. And I'd also want him to have the finesse shot trait, because that is a very, very key aspect this year. To have the finesse shot trait, I really do like that trait a lot. And I'm just about to go back to one as well. I wish he had 5-star skills. I don't know why they've not done this on this card. I don't know what they're doing with this promo at all, to be honest. But the 5-star skills or like a 4-star weak foot with this card would make him very, very good in game. Very insane. But that's all for my negatives. Now to the overall score. So on overall scores then. So first for me is the pace. Now the pace for me, I'm going to give it a 9.9 out of 10. He feels fast in game, yes, but he doesn't feel Vinicius level fast. Maybe it's just his stocky body type. But generally speaking, the pace was very, very electric. It's just not Vinicius level fast, so I'm going to give it 9.9 out of 10. Now, next up for me is the shooting. Now, although this was good at times, like the one in the Elite Div, where it absolutely rocketed it near post fast. I think it was Van der Sar or something like that. It flew in, but the other times it could be very inconsistent. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I feel like if you're going to go with the shooting and you need him to be like striker, I'll go with the other foot versus card. The thing is the freeze one. That's got a lot more shooting but a lot less passing, so it all depends on what you want really. But overall, the shooting is a little bit inconsistent at times with this card. Now, next up for me is the passing. Now, overall, the passing got really good, to be fair. I actually did really enjoy it. Especially if you're going to play wide, burning it down that wing to get the pass across the box as well. Really good, to be fair. That is one of his like key aspects you can utilise with this card. So, overall, for passing, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I did really think it was quite solid, especially that crossing start. Now, next up for me is the dribbling. Now, overall, this felt quite good, to be fair. The reactions kind of let it down a little bit, especially with the Composure. But overall, for it, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's just that reactions that really like let it down at times, and it did really kind of not frustrate me, but like you could just feel it there, and it was a little bit like worse than, let's say, a card with like, I don't know, 85 reactions would be. Now, next for me is the physical stats. Now, jumping's good, stamina's good, the strength's really good, the aggression's okay, so I'm actually giving it a 9 out of 10. I do really think it's quite good, especially that strength to hold off that wide man, because there's no fullback in the game that's as strong as this Adama card, so take that how you will. Like, you can just hold that L2 and they won't be able to push him onto the ball, so that's really, really nice, to be fair. So, value for coins then. I think he's coming in around 180k right now, give or take. So, do I think it's worth it? If you've got the coins for him, he's playing wide, yes, absolutely. He's an absolute tank wide. Just don't really have that many shots with him. Obviously, if you need to, he will score it. But he's got around the same finishing, let's say, that normal Dembele was. So, it is a bit hit and miss. So, value for coins then, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. But overall score then, I'm going to give him a 8.5. I do think he's a good card, to be fair. It's just that inconsistency kind of lets him down. But that's all for my review. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1k subs by the end of the year, so if you help me towards that, I greatly appreciate it. But I've got nothing more to say, so I'll see you in the next review, and peace out, guys.